show you how to build a dolly for your DSLR camera. Hi, I'm Eric from Topwater Films. The reason I made this dolly was because about a year ago I created a web series called Get a Job, which you can now view on YouTube or Funny or Die. Type in Topwater Films, all one word, in the search window to view it. I'm in the middle of editing one of my episodes, but I thought I'd do a quick tutorial on this dolly that I just made for an up-and-coming episode. What I wanted to start doing was getting a little bit more creative cinematography-wise. So when I wrote the next script, I thought that it would be nice to build some tension between two of my characters. So what I want to do is I'm going to push into my character's face to build that tension. Another thing I want to do was start on two of my characters and slowly move in to reveal a third character as an element of surprise. So to achieve this properly, you really need to use a quality dolly. I've been working out here in Los Angeles in the film industry for quite a number of years, working on major film and television. And the equipment that we use to achieve this is very, very expensive. And with myself now also being an indie filmmaker, it's really hard for me to either rent or buy any of that type of equipment. So I've chosen to build a lot of my own equipment that is good quality to achieve the same look. So you might want to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be doing a lot more tutorials on some of the equipment that I'm building. And it'll also help you in your production. So the dolly that I made is not the cheapest DIY dolly. It cost me about $400 to make, but it's a quality dolly and it'll last and it'll stand up to the rigors of being on location and being tossed around. So with that being said, I think it's a well worth investment. So if you guys are ready, let's go build a camera dolly. Okay, so let's get started. First, here's my part list on the pieces that I used to build my dolly. I went out and I got a 16-foot aluminum extension ladder, which I took in half and I only used 8 feet of. I went down to my local skateboard shop and I got 8 62mm skateboard wheels, 8 pairs of wheel bearings, 8 extra wheel spacers, which I will show you why in a minute, but I would highly recommend getting these. I got 8 1.5" by 5/16 bolts and lock nuts. I got 4 2" by 5/16 bolts and lock nuts, which I highly recommend buying lock nuts. Also, I got 12 5/16 flat washers. I got a piece 4 foot by 1.5" by 1.5" angled aluminum, which you will be cutting in half so you'll have 2 2-foot sections. I got a pair of sawhorses. Mine were adjustable so I could adjust the height of my ladder. I got 1/2 inch by 8 foot metal electrical conduit. I use this because I find that the dolly rolls on the track a lot smoother than just riding on the ladder itself. And I bought 4 clamps to clamp the electrical conduit to the ladder. Okay, and the only 2 other things you're going to need for this project are what I bought here, and this is optional, but I found this to be the best. I went down to my local film store and I bought a hi-hat for my fluid head for my Manfrotto 504 head. 75mm. Got that and this piece of wood that it came on. This was about 200 bucks for this. Kind of expensive, but it works great. Definitely want something to put your fluid head onto. This is the ticket. This is what I used. So next, I'm going to show you how to assemble your parts. Okay, so first what you want to do is you want to take your 4-foot piece of aluminum, cut it exactly in half so you have 2 2-foot pieces. The next thing you want to do is you take a drill bit, the same diameter as your bolt. This is very important because you don't want any sloppy play in the bolt hole. You drill a hole 3 inches from this edge. And this hole is for mounting your aluminum bracket to the wood. The next thing you want to do is you want to drill 2 holes to mount your wheels. The first hole right here is going to be 1.5 inches from the edge of your metal. The second hole right here is going to be 4.5 inches from the edge. Repeat for the other side, and then obviously for your other 2-foot piece of aluminum. And this is what it should look like when you're done. Next, we're going to assemble the wheel. Take your 62mm skateboard wheel, 1.5" by 5/16 bolt. Put the bolt through the bearing, no washer. Flip it over. Take the extra wheel spacer you got from your skateboard shop, put it over the bolt. It'll match up against the bearing spacer that's in the bearing perfectly. Next, take your 5/16 washer, put the washer on. Then you take your piece of aluminum, put it through the hole, take your nylon lock nut, screw that on. And you take your 1/2" socket and box end wrench. You want to tighten the wheel. You want to tighten it on pretty tight and then back it off. So tighten it on like that. It barely spins, so you want to back it off just a hair. But you don't want to back it off too much because you don't want sloppy play in your wheel. So we'll back it off just a bit so the wheel spins. But there's no sloppy play. Alright, now that you have your wheels all assembled, it should look something like this. Next step, what you want to do is already have your base plate here. You have your holes pre-drilled for your mounting holes in here. Take this, mount it on your board. Take your 5/16 by 2" bolt and a washer. Thread that up through the bottom, like so. Take your nylon lock nut. You just want to snug this down. You don't want to like really reef it onto your wood because you don't want to like crack or damage the wood. So just snug. Okay, so this is what it looks like completed with your tracks with the wheels mounted to your base plate. Back and forth on your ladder, and I'll show you that next. Okay, so the next thing I did is I took my 16-foot aluminum ladder and I broke it down in half. So I put my 8-foot section on a pair of adjustable sawhorses that I had. And I'm going to take my 1/2" conduit and I'm going to put it on top of the ladder. So you want to mount it like this. And you take one of your clamps. This is kind of an important thing too. You want to take your clamp and have it clamped to the inside like that. Do the same thing to the other side. Take your clamp, you mount it to the inside like so. And then you repeat at the other end. Okay, so now that we have both ends of our conduit clamped to our ladder, we take the ladder dolly that we just made, stick it on the rails. It's really solid. You don't have to worry about it falling off, the clamps won't pop off. And as you can see, it rolls nice and smooth side to side. Okay, there you go. You just made yourself a really cool camera dolly. And you saved a bunch of money. I hope it works good on your production. And please, subscribe to my channel to hear more tutorials. And also check out Get a Job, my new web series. It's available on YouTube or Funny or Die. In the search window, type in Topwater Films on a link below. Hope you enjoy. Talk to you later.